I mean, I've lost tennis tournaments before.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, welcome back to Property Pairings. I'm Eric. This is
Mike.
Miguel. And we are on episode 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at me. I can count. I'm actually really good at math.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. So, how was your week?
Why don't we start with you first? Because I gotta sort through my list of stuff this week.
Okay.
How was your week?
Very good. Yeah. So, got someone under contract this morning, which is really good. New construction out in Carnation. Really nice home, actually. The builder is John Day, and he's just like a local builder who builds in the valley a lot. Snoqualmie Valley.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really neat. Yesterday, I had another listing appointment that stuck. So I have my highest priced listing coming up soon. So that'll be really exciting. And I mean, other than that, it's just been a lot of showings this week. I probably drove close to like 700-ish miles in the past few days.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah, driving up north and looking at some places, and then in the valley, Seattle.
We had very different weeks.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I got a lot of referrals, but most of my week was spent sleeping on a couch with sick kids.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's unfortunate.
Still sick?
Yeah, it's just been going through the family right now.
Only for like the last, how old is Clark now? 6 years of sickness.
Yeah.
It's like the more you have, the more sickness that comes into your house.
Was it Tuesday morning? Woke up at 2 a.m. by exorcist stuff. And then every 45 minutes thereafter until about 7:30 in the morning. So I stayed with him on the couch that whole night. And the whole day he seemed okay. And right at brush your teeth time that night, right into the sink in the bathroom. So we're back out on the couch again. Let's see. So he's finally felt better. He finally went back to school yesterday. One of my other kids got her 3 incident reports at school in one day.
Yeah. She's almost 2.
Almost 2. And she apparently throws down at school. So we got to work on that.
She's got 2 older brothers, right? Like she's going to have to become dominant.
She's bigger and stronger than the poor little kid she went after. She smelled blood in the water on that one.
You know what? I said I didn't want that toy, but because you want it, I'm taking it back.
Yeah. Yeah. So, you know, when you show up at school and the teacher hands you a bunch of papers, because each incident creates a bunch of paperwork, so you just get handed a stack of paperwork. That was yesterday.
And then the mom's picking up her son at the same time, and you're like, hey.
Sorry.
Sorry for the black eye.
And the blood.
And the broken finger. Just kidding.
The first and the third thing didn't happen there, but there was a little bit of blood.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she's fierce.
Passionate.
What else? We got some referrals, which was good, and business is picking up in that regard from the referral standpoint. So that's been all well and good. But the startup business has been splitting my focus this week, especially with kind of triaging things. So
he does think that like after this next thing, it's gonna get easier, and I'm like, no, that's not. That's not really the thing. But I like your optimism because you're not always Mr. Optimistic. So in that regard,
what are you talking about? I'm always optimistic. I'm just pragmatic on things too. Like, nah, cut it and let's move on.
Yeah.
So it was a neutral week in that regard. I'm tired. It was that sleeping on the couch thing is no joke.
No.
Because you're sleeping with one eye open, waiting for the next sound. Yeah. If they stir in their sleep or you hear bleh, you're like, oh crap, I got to jump into action mode now. So that was not fun. Kids are great.
I remember just the one time I watched your kids while you guys were on the baby moon, and one of his kids had a cough. And so I had the baby monitor, I'm sleeping out on the couch, the two kids are in their room, and it was kind of comforting to hear the cough throughout the night. And it was like, okay.
Because you know they're
But
there and alive.
Yeah.
but then the coughing stopped, and so I'm looking at the monitor and there's like no moving, no moving, no moving. God. So I get up and I like walk down the hall and I open the door and I go over there. And as soon as I like walk a little bit closer, you hear, and I'm like, oh, thank God. Because you've been coughing nonstop since I got here. And now it's 2:45 in the morning and it's dead silent.
Is that before or after some of the traumatic experiences you had with clients?
Oh, after for sure. Yeah.
After?
Yeah. Yeah.
You never heard some of those stories, have you?
Can't tell.
Maybe we talked about broken arm and shoulder.
No.
Oh, yeah. When I first started working with Mike, I'm out showing some clients, newly licensed, maybe working with you for, yeah, it's like my second month after getting licensed, showing some of Mike's clients, and there was this ladder that was precariously placed above some stairs, and the client went and got on the ladder, and when he was coming down, his foot slipped and the ladder toppled and he fell
Down the stairwell.
all the way down to the basement. And they're not just like wooden stairs. These are like 1920 Seattle cement basement going down to the basement stairs.
That's tough.
There were some warnings, like I didn't think it was a good idea.
You don't have over control over somebody's will, but you're like, this really is not a good idea. But I get a call from Eric, and what did you say to me?
Well, I had your clients with me and fell down some stairs, and he's headed to the emergency room.
What do we do, right?
What should we do?
And my response back is, gee, I don't know. That's never happened to me before. Let me check with the manager of the office. Call him. Describe the situation. He's like, gee, I don't know. We've never had that happen before. Go to the owner of the company. Hey, this happened. What should we do? Gee, I don't know. We've never had that happen before.
Yeah. I was like, sure I was going to lose my job, right? Because I worked in insurance before real estate. So I'm thinking, I'm like, somebody's getting sued. For sure, someone's getting sued. I immediately go home and I'm like, here's my report of exactly what happened. Like, I'm looking at my phone at, I don't know, 1:57 p.m. Called Mike.
Very detailed. And at the end of the day, it was everything worked out okay, and the client is fine, and but it was one of those. It was like a learning experience, not for us to a degree is like, you can say, hey, don't think that's a good idea, but in that particular case, it's like we're leaving the house if you even have an inkling of trying to go do that again, something like that again. It was, you could have a client that wants to stick their head in the attic to go see what's going on up there, or go down in the crawl space, and they could hit their head on a floor joist or something. Like, it was a very interesting, surreal experience, and Eric is exemplary with his clients, so it was just a freak thing that happened. But
yeah, I mean, I know I handled it well, but the whole time afterward, I'm like, I'm losing this job. I just bought a new house.
But so with the kid being very quiet when he was babysitting, that's why I asked, is it before or after this?
Oh, yeah.
Immediately after that, he was on point on everything.
Well, no, like the next week, I'm showing some different clients, and their kids, we were inside the house finishing, and their kids had just went out on the back, and there's like this garden area, secret garden type, right? Like you can't really see stuff. And we're just about to walk outside where they're at, and I hear, oh my God, blood. And I'm like, this just happened with his other, where the guy broke both of his shoulders
Oh,
from the stair fall. So, like, that's on my thing. We see a picture. He's like double slinging it. Yeah, it's so. Then I hear this client's kid yelling blood. Luckily, the kid comes over. It's the tiniest scratch. Right after that last thing happened, I had bought a first aid kit and I carry one in my car now. So I immediately was like,
It's like it's like on his utility belt, like Batman.
I don't know what a first aid kit would have done for 2 broken shoulders, but
Nah.
No.
Nah.
Still nice.
Here's some Tylenol, buddy.
Well, and then after that, there was one that kind of slipped down a couple stairs like the next week.
Yeah, so it's that same, this is all probably within 21 days.
Wow.
So then it's raining, wood gets slick when it's raining, there's stairs. I'm helping one of his clients, they're walking down the stairs and the guy slips and falls. And I'm like, I already told Mike about the blood one. I was like, I'm not mentioning this one. And of course, Chris tells you that he
Yep.
fell. And I'm like, you go,
Oh, yeah.
so someone fell. And I was like, oh, yeah. Yep. That one happened too. Luckily, he didn't get hurt. And then that next week, different clients, we go to this house and it's got a zip line. And in how to get up there, it's a log and then the zip line thing. And so he stands up there and I'm like, no, I'm sorry.
He used the dad voice right there.
I gotta say no. Like, we're not gonna do that. Like, I'm not gonna tell you what's happened in these past 30 days with these other people. But I'm gonna have to say no go. If you buy it, zip line all day. But no, that's not gonna happen today. Thank you.
Wow.
So now I put my foot down when it comes to some of these crazier things. Like, oh, should I go jump on that trampoline that's buried in the ground? No. And we have properties that will have like a pool or a river, and it's like disclosure everywhere. We call them little silent talkers.
Silent talkers, yeah.
Yeah, it's like pool safety. Do not let your kid outside. And it's on every window and gate and everything. So it's
we have dialed back a little bit on that. Like, we still put them there, but immediately after those experiences, like, you couldn't see the view out of one of the houses because the silent talkers are just covering everything. Do not do this. Stay away. Danger.
Yeah, I was nervous. I mean, yeah.
The thing is, those things happen too, because I've had clients slip downstairs and do all of that. You go into a house that they've just waxed the floors, and they're either like, take your shoes off, wear the booties, or whatever. You might be walking around in your socks and you slip a little bit. I mean, I've had it happen. But in that 21-day period, you've probably had the same as my 18 years.
Yeah, that was.
Sometimes when it rains, it pours.
It was pouring. Like they always say, when I worked in insurance, it was like accidents always come in pairs. And it kind of was. Someone would get into a car accident and not too much longer after that, the other car was in an accident or there was a home loss. It's like, it's always a twofer.
That's happened to me.
That was the Jeep. My engine blew up in October. So it was out for a month and a half getting a new engine. Under warranty, great. Then the air ride suspension goes out. Wasn't planning for that. Got it back. And then yesterday, I'm like, the key fob thing saying it's out of battery. I'm like, come on, give me the battery at least. Right now?
Usually they'll do that. I mean, I guess I take mine to the dealership, but usually, like, because my clicker stopped working and I was getting something else done, and they're just like, oh, we just replaced the battery.
Well, tell me where you're going, because when I was at Acura, they're like $90. I'm like, the guy's like, just pop it apart. You can put the battery in. So Eric's like, I have one of these extra batteries. It's the right battery. Pop the remote apart yesterday, the key fob apart. Put the new one in. Everything's fine. But I was like, come on.
Yeah.
The battery?
Right.
What else you got? Anyways, we're tangenting here.
It's all good.
It's event sesh. Thank you. Casual Friday.
I really like Fridays. Fridays are fun. I was telling him, it's fun to put my phone on Do Not Disturb because I don't ever do that. It's always.
Yeah, it's on, and mine's on, on privacy or whatever it is mode.
Isn't it always?
Only for you.
Yeah, I know.
At night.
It's
Why didn't you text me last night? Sorry, I was busy.
it's not. No, that's an exaggeration. Mike will answer the phone call for like anybody else. I rarely call unless I need something.
I answered your call last night while I was putting the kids to
and
bed.
was it to chit chat for an hour or was it just to ask you a question?
No, but I liked hearing your voice.
Okay. But there's been times where it's like I'm calling, he won't answer, he won't answer. His buddy calls, immediate answer. And it's like, what the heck, man?
I answer the phone with you just like I answer for Julia, my wife. No, I'm kidding.
That's not.
She's gonna see that one.
She
Oh
probably
yeah,
is.
for sure. She'll love that.
I'm gonna hear about it.
Yeah, you put me on Do Not Disturb.
Well, I stepped up my game last night.
I know. It was appreciated. I already had a backup plan to call someone else.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's a dagger to the heart.
I was like, I'm calling Kimmy if Mike doesn't answer. She does new construction
That's
all the
her
time.
thing,
Yeah,
yeah.
So I was like, that's going to be my next perfect call. Oh, I went to a really fun class this week, a continuing education class. It's from a broker in our office, and it was like listing your house like a product manager does. And so I got some really good nuggets of information out of there. Some of the stuff we do kind of do, we just don't do it at the detail level that they were presenting, but we do it in the roundabout way.
Was the detail for the purposes of the client or for your own, the integrity of the agent as they're moving through their process?
Well, it's specifically targeted towards like project managers because there's so many tech people here and they're used to a project manager, right? And so their whole process is treating the house like a product and how you're going to get that product from point A to point B and the process there, which we do. A lot of the same things that they do, we do, just slightly different. But I still picked up some things that we could improve on.
Or like a visualization, like from a perspective of visualization for the client.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's always hard.
That's one of the big ones. The so they'll find personas who they think is going to purchase the place, which we do as well. We just don't call them personas. But I'm like, your buyer for this place is so and so. So we're going to target all of our advertising and our marketing remarks to this. It's going to reach everyone, but truly the main buyers of this house are this type of person. Like it could be a tech worker, or it could be like I have a condo coming up and they don't have restrictions on dogs. So there's lots of condos that are like no aggressive breeds or nothing over 40 pounds. Right. And so it's like, okay, well, this person has a large dog and it's a 1-bedroom. So they're probably buying their first condo. And so you target that based on who you think is going to buy it. And so they do the same thing. They just say personas versus buyers.
There's a lot of tailoring that you try to do, and some people will just hand you the keys and say, "Don't call them, don't bother me," like until we're ready to go, or you have a client, a buyer or whatever. Yeah. And other ones, they're really wanting to be involved. Whatever we can do, we're always looking to pick up little tricks and improvements that we can do to make our clients' experience better. But that it's a whole spectrum of how people interact with the information we provide them.
That's why I watch Selling Sunset.
That's the only reason why you watch Selling Sunset?
To get nuggets of real estate helpfulness for our business. So.
Oh, twist my arm. I have to watch Selling Sunset tonight and drink a scotch.
Probably margarita. But
margarita?
Yeah.
I didn't even know this existed.
Because it used to be on Market Street. They moved the Matador off of Market Street and they moved to a new location.
It was on the corner, right?
Correct, yeah.
And then now it's next to the Bell.
Correct. Yep, exactly. And now it's a new I saw it last time I was in Ballard a couple of months ago.
You're quite the Matador expert there.
But I haven't been there yet. That sounds fun. So I will be in Seattle this week.
You were showing a house in Ballard last Friday, right?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you were going to go re-show it. I had showed
Yeah,
it.
we were gonna. Yeah. Yep. I wish I had the time to stop there. That would have been fun.
Yeah. Mike like works and goes home.
Mm.
It's hard to get, I, I'm like, have we hung out in the evening ever? No, I don't think so. Maybe a happy hour with.
There was a time and a place in a different life where yes, I used to do that, but I mean, Eric will say like almost like I'm a broken record, but it's a lot when you're doing 1v versus 3 with the kids. So as soon as I'm done with like what needs to be getting done,
Yeah.
you got to get home and help with the kids and, tag team dinner and deal with bath times and get kids to bed. And I mean, they're getting better about it. Like Clark is certainly at that point where he can kind of handle himself. But even now, Ashton's like, can you help me brush my teeth? I'm like, dude, you're 4. You know how to do this. And then Blair's just running away from you all the time. So
Mike's teaching Clark to be our new assistant. He was learning vacuum lines last night.
Oh, yeah.
I got a video of it. It was awesome.
Well, so I'm on a phone call interviewing a new client, and I was like, I have 2 calls I need to take, one at 5:30 and one at 6. And you cannot be in this room doing kid things while I'm on these calls. And the first call went off without a hitch, and that was pretty all well and good. The second call at 6, he knows what's happening. He's disassembling kind of this like dog pen thing we've created for the new puppy to keep him contained. And I'm looking at him while I'm on the call. I'm whispering to him, like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm taking this apart. Go somewhere else. I need to be right here doing this. So he walks away and he walks back in with the vacuum. Like, no, we're not vacuuming while I'm doing intake with a new client. So as soon as he was done, he wanted to do vacuuming, and Eric's vacuum lines are pretty good.
Yeah, they're not perfect for sure, but they are in every photo, and it's important to me.
Don't step on his vacuum lines. Mm-hmm. And so Clark was doing vacuum lines, and he's just kind of going randomly, like, you got to go like this, or like this, depending on which. Oh, so I took a video and sent it.
It was really cool because he's like, you can tell it's almost like trying to tie your shoe, and you're like, I know what I should be doing, but you're trying to do it. And so at one point, like he's trying to do the vacuum line, but he's concentrating to make sure it's perfect, and you hear the vacuum shut off because he let go of the trigger, and he's like, oh wait. And you just see he like does a little freeze, and then he like turns it back on, and he's like, okay. Yeah,
we like to share those things.
Yeah. That was awesome.
Because when we have a listing and there's carpet, without fail. Did you see the vacuum lines? You see how good those vacuum lines are?
I think it makes a difference.
It does, and he has a procedure by which he does it. Like down each side of the bed goes one way. But then if the bed is a certain way in the room relative to the door, then you change directions and come back this way so you're going out the room.
Yeah, it's all in the details. I love details.
You guys are into, like, what do you do with the rest of your time?
Well, I mean, part of Eric and I, like if you're talking about things like we've bonded over, Scotch has been a big one of those. But like in general with our time, when we have time, like together or like separately, even when we're not together, there is a lot of sending back and forth of like Instagram reels and things like that. Especially those tend to actually spike when like we're really hard pressed with a lot of business, like to decompress. So that usually is one thing we do. Like once a month, we're usually having dinner together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we typically have them over to our house at least once. Well, we try to do once. We've been doing once a month pretty frequently, and the kids can just like, I think I said that, and like buy fun toys and stuff like that. Yeah,
we would be happy to host, but it's like going on vacation for us because you get to leave all of their crap behind.
Yeah,
and Uncle Eric's house got all the fun stuff.
Yeah,
and we get to sit and kind of they just do their thing.
Right.
Which is really nice.
I guess, yeah, you guys came over after after our last video.
Mm.
You guys came over last weekend.
And we just sit at the table or the island,
Mm-hmm.
and the kids are doing kids things, and it's simple stuff. I mean, for me, yeah, that kind of takes up a lot of time. Unfortunately, I mean, well, it's not unfortunately, but like the things that I used to do, like reading,
Mm-hmm.
or when I had spare time, like playing a video game, because I still like doing that. I just fall asleep in the loading screens now.
When I think about your day, okay, how about you say what you think I do every day, and I'll tell you.
Okay.
Okay, Mike's day, he wakes up.
Yeah.
Let's see how accurate you are.
Okay, he's waking up, probably going in to like wake up the kids, have them do their thing, get ready, start breakfast. Then I guess you do breakfast, and then you probably get ready yourself post breakfast. And then
That's fairly accurate, yes, after chasing 3 kids around the house to get them ready.
and then they pick out his clothes.
They do.
And then he has to get them to get like their shoes and jackets and backpacks, and like let's not forget anything that could be meltdown city on the way to the car, on the way to school, talking with your parents, get to
Or
school.
you, or just quiet.
Okay. And then drop him off.
Mm-hmm.
Then he gets here, parks upstairs so his tires don't go flat. Comes in, stops by, chats with the staff. Otherwise, they get mad. We're mad at you.
They do get mad if I don't pit stop up front there.
Comes in. It's either like, hey, I'm happy to see everyone, or it's like, and then and then probably 15, 20 minutes, it's like 10, 15, hungry again, even though I just had breakfast maybe a couple hours ago. Starts eating his lunch for the next hour and a half-ish.
He's not wide of the mark on a lot of this.
Meetings. Then right around 3:30, although lately it's been a little bit later, he's got to go pick up the 2 kids from daycare. Probably will stop at the grocery store maybe if they need stuff for dinner, go home, hang out with the kids, start making dinner, do client calls if they need that time. Probably will try to push till after bedtime, which is 8-ish. Right after that, there's like workout. I'm guessing somewhere between depend on meeting, like meeting times, but somewhere between like 9 and 11 he's gonna work out. Mike's quite the workout guy. I mean,
I can't work out that late.
I can't work out early.
Good for you.
I have to.
My brother did say though that like when you have kids, like finding time to exercise is like you just do it when you can. So if it's after bedtime, then that's when you got to do it, I guess.
It is, yeah. It's a well, I always was one to work out later, anyways. It's eerie how accurate you are on most of that.
And then it's probably gonna watch some YouTube something, fall asleep, nap-ish, and be like, oh, I fell asleep. Oh God, I need to get to bed. And then go to bed and then start it over.
How do you do?
Every day.
He's like 90% accurate. That's trippy. I'm not going to be that accurate.
Yeah, because it's mine is not as.
So for Eric, I feel like it's I feel like you're probably about a 7 o'clock wake up person, because I have FaceTimed you in the morning on some things at times, and he's got his white t-shirt on. His hair is a little unkempt, but basically looks as good as it always does. And somehow, we're roughly in the same starting point, and he's at the office before I am. He's had his cold brew. He likes to say that like either I come in happy or or like that. But if he doesn't have his cold brew, oh man, the attitude indicators are going off. It's just like, do not get in his way when he hasn't had his cold brew.
Just need the little caffeine jolt. And it's
So
Costco cold brew.
we go over for dinner last weekend, and there is a wall of cold brew sitting next to the island. I'm like, is that your cold brew? And he goes, yeah. I said one thing to Jared, and Jared's looking at me like, so Jared like bought the store because it's just a pile of cold brew sitting there waiting to go.
It just, that's the only thing I'm asking for. And I'm not in charge of grocery shopping. So it's like, I'd not running out of cold brew, buy 3. Then we'll never run out, because at least in the next 36 days, you will have gone back to
See how
Costco.
dialed he is on that too, yeah. So he'll get in probably around 8:30. He likes his or so. He likes his quiet time. So he gets real miffed if I show up early. Oh, you're here? Yeah, I am. He likes his quiet time.
They do.
I get in about 9 something. He'll say, "Do you need anything?" And I appreciate it. Like, I'm good. Or sometimes like, "Yeah, can you help me with this thing?" What happens from there is kind of like very mild yoga poses at his standing desk for a good chunk of the day. Like today, it was his foot is on the table, and his foot and ankle and knee are on this table at the same time. He'll be working. You'll be doing kind of usually some kind of marketing thing, working on client stuff. I'll ask him around when I start eating, which is around 10:30 to 11:30. I start eating dinner or lunch, excuse me, because it's already been 4 or 5 hours since I've eaten. It feels like. Did you bring lunch? Nah. I'm gonna eat this air or this one little drink thing. Tea. We'll kind of have that going throughout the day. We'll maybe have a little bit of scotch around 2-ish or so, and it's become reflexive for me as if I go to grab the bottle, his glass goes like this.
Yeah.
Do not fail to fill that while you're filling your own.
Because a lot of times you're on the phone, and so you're grabbing it, and I'm like, don't be rude.
But it's more like this.
I don't know if it's that dramatic, but close.
The curl on the hair does a little switch sides. That will go till right around the time when I gotta go. Like, hey, do you need anything else? And I'm like, no, I think I'm good. I'm gonna go pick up the kids. What are you doing? I'm gonna go to the Matador.
Yeah. I don't know that I tell you where I'm going, though.
I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna go to the Matador. What are you gonna get? Nachos and margarita? Yep. It's not every day, but that's what it feels like.
That's fair.
Then he heads home, or he does client showings. You'll get home. Dinner's usually around 7.
Or later, yeah.
Or a little later, because if his husband's gaming or doing something else.
Which is always. Yeah.
And
often.
then
That's so much more polite.
And then it rolls into work or whatever. Usually he might do like a Pilates type thing or a yoga thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yoga, actually, right? Yoga
yep.
thing. And then he's usually got the laptop up. It seems like working in the background and maybe selling something on the big TV, maybe playing a game.
Yep.
And then
oh yeah, I bought an Xbox. So I bought one in November, and that's been a lot of fun.
And then we'll be usually more often than not, but less so much lately, but there's usually Instagram reels going back and forth between the two of us. And he's been up later these days. So like bedtime for him is now between like 12 and 2.
Yeah.
It seems like.
I think it's when I have a lot of stuff on my mind. It's kind of crazy too, because I'm like a daily scale person. So I get on the scale every morning, and it's the later I stay up, the lower the weight, which is interesting. Yeah, I keep track of it. So it's stress.
Is that
just stress?
Is that
right?
trippy? How much we know?
I mean,
that was pretty accurate.
That's pretty good.
The more you know.
Yeah.
I think we spend a healthy amount of time with each other. We complement each other, though.
It's like 5 years, almost 5 years.
Has it been 5 years?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's like half a decade.
Yeah, it feels like I was 36 then and I'm like 38 now.
God. Always with the age. It's gonna be, I'm so excited for your first hip replacement. Like, that's gonna be my favorite.
Who says that? I can't wait for your first gray hair.
I have all of them. There's Michael, Arthur, Pavone, all in there somewhere.
I don't know how we made it through the whole video and we didn't talk about your socks.
I know, my mom got them for me, I think, for Christmas. They say something on the bottom too. This realtor is off duty if you can read this. And they're like the sticky ones, so you don't slide.
Huh.
See?
It's almost laundry day.
You could wax the floors and no problem for her.
Yeah, see? Look at that.
Those are some socks. I like those.
They are, yeah.
They're very suggestive. There's like a little
Stereotypical real estate agent.
yeah, there's like a hidden meaning there. Look at my socks. They're house socks.
Buy house.
I can't believe we made it all the way through the video and I didn't look at those. Well, thank you for joining us today on episode 4 of Property Pairings. I'm Captain. This is Tennille.
Oh, God.
Yep, I said it. Remember to click like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers.